This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we talk about Ted Lasso, Halloween, and three things that have pretty much annoyed us in the gym. They're been movements and other stuff, basically. And if you like any of that content, go give it a share. Obviously, we don't earn any ads because we want the content to be free for everyone. So it means the world to me and Dan. Catch you in the show.
3, 2, 1. YouTube shorts are going off, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damink.
And me, Tom. What's going on, buddy?
Me, how I find them very, very strange, if I'm honest. Let me just get up our stats quick for you. I think we've only posted about four of them.
I'll get up my stats because I'm on the old YouTube now. Because I actually started posting a couple of vids
I don't know what it is.
week.
I don't know what it is about it. Right? I find a bit strange, but
I'll get my YouTube studio up, shall I?
we basically had one that had 15 views, 1.5. One that had 1,052 views.
Okay.
And then another one that had 45. And then
So
one
weird.
that had 3,379. And then one that had 43.
It's so odd. So yeah, like I've posted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. And like I've got, because I literally started 2 weeks ago. So what my subs at, like 20 to 30, if that.
Mate,
So imagine
fucking baller.
I know, thank you. So they're gradually going up. But why is my thing going off?
What thing's going off?
Recording back. Sorry, guys, there was a brief pause just in case you disrupted the cadence. I didn't actually plug my microphone in.
Oh, right. Well, there you go.
I've been speaking to you on a different microphone.
Well, that's always nice.
It's always good. Obviously, I put my headphones in, and then because of the magic of the headphones, they go muted, unmuted, muted. I'm sure that was like...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so when I don't select my actual nice microphone, yeah, it goes out. But yeah, anyway, we've gone back to YouTube stuff. So absolute baller. Obviously, I'm picking up a few subs a day, which is good. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do, to be honest. Another avenue. I prefer long form content. I'm better at it, so it seemed like a more logical thing to do for me, rather than the TikTok kind of way. And I was like, YouTube's not going anywhere, is it? Fucking hell. So who knows about TikTok?
No.
So yeah, just on the shorts views. So yeah, literally the one I posted yesterday, it's got 2.1k views. So bearing in mind, I've got essentially no subscribers, let's say, but 2.1 thousand views, like 53 odd likes. The day before or 5 days ago, 1.6k views, and then it went down to 405, and then all the way down to 26, and then 75, then 380, then 129, and then 2.4k, 2,500, 2,000, then 1,100, then 79. Really fucking weird. Don't really understand it. I've not looked into the timings. I've not looked into anything. Like the ones that do like in the thousands of views, like based off. Well, if you look at like if I've got like 20 to 30 subs and I'm getting near. So the ones that get thousands of views, let's say just say 2,000 views. If I've got 20 subs, it's not a bad organic reach, let's say. So in terms of people actually looking at it, in terms of likes, it's been okay, to be fair. But yeah, it's odd. And then it has carried over a little bit onto my other stuff. So I'm always surprised.
I think from what I've noticed on the ones that we've posted is that it is literally just a case of the shorter ones go further. Like that is literally the only thing that I'm looking at here is like the 15-second one is the longest one, is the one that got the most views. The second shortest is the one with the second most views. That's like a common thing, I reckon.
Maybe. Views.
Just what I've noticed.
I'm not bothered looking at that. But interesting, yeah. I'd say for people who want more organic reach, it might be something to look at. Definitely more organic reach sometimes than I found it more predictable than Instagram at the moment. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, well there you go. Get on it.
get on it, but you have to be okay at talking into camera and doing long form content. But literally, I'm just repurposing my reels. That's literally all I'm doing. Just going one by one. I'm just putting them up there. And it has been interesting. The ones that tended to do okay on Instagram have tended to do better as well on YouTube. So there's something in that. That they like. But
yeah, I think it's just
boring.
down. I think it's just down to the length. Genuinely think it's down to the length.
Yeah, nobody wanted to know 4 exercises for athletes to use, but everybody loves single leg strength power. And ironically enough, one of the exercises were the same. So yeah.
There you go. Very strange.
Anyway, what's been going on, my friends?
Not a lot, mate. Just had these people fucking drilling next door. Oh my God, it feels like they've drilled my head all day. Been painful, not gonna lie to you, trying to record updates and do that shit. But it just made me realize how inconsiderate some people are. No message, no letter, no knock on the door to say, hey guys, just let you know we're doing loads of building work and you may want to consider getting an office for 3 days to go and work in. Nothing like that. Just crack on with it. And then the most annoying thing for me, I said to Laura, was the fact that they went out the house all day because they knew it was going to be bad. Brilliant. Yeah. I feel a little bit, wouldn't feel quite as bad if they were at least sat in the house having to deal with it as well. But no, they weren't.
No, they wouldn't have done that, would they?
No, it just infuriates me. But other than that, yeah, I'm all good, mate. All good.
Because we found it interesting. We did talk about this before because I've had the same thing, but the person didn't say first, and then I went round and complained because I'm one of those people. And then he's been lovely since, leaving me little love letters. Dear Tom.
Dear Tom, another change of plan, I'm afraid.
Another plan. Very polite. Thank you, Steve Miller.
Well, that's so he should as well. So he should.
Yeah. And because I did complain, obviously, because it was the same for me. I had check-in day. It was like on a Thursday, it was check-in day, and I was like, oh, fuck, I've got like 15 check-ins to do. And all I could hear was this.
It's just painful.
It's like, great. And like, I knew that I went up, I was just like, look, I literally have to give like lectures for a living. What am I meant to do? Like, there's nowhere I can go. My desk is directly underneath your living room. Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, since that, I was just like, look, just tell me like 2 days in advance, like just so I can go somewhere else. That's it. And Daniel, have you ever tried to do? I don't know how some people do it. I literally can't do it. How have you ever tried to do check-ins like in a coffee shop?
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Well, no, you can. You can. The reason this is one of my biggest bugbears about online coaching, right? In general, is the coaches that say that they get this freedom to work wherever they want and travel the world on this sort of stuff. I know that their check-ins are inferior because they don't do video check-ins, because they literally just do written feedback, because that's how they can work anywhere. If you're recording a video or you're recording even just a voice message for your clients, you can't do it in a coffee shop. You just can't do it anywhere. You can't do it moving around. And again, you can upload a document really easily on any shitty Wi-Fi. You cannot film a good Loom on any Wi-Fi. And this is one of my bugbears about online coaching. Like the whole thing annoys me.
It's not particularly like the Wi-Fi or anything like that, but it's the expressive nature of like the check-in, right? Like all mine are like, I get like, I don't know, handsy and like I had lots of different inflections in my voice.
Yeah.
Shock.
Shock. But no, you're right. No, you're right though, is that you do get, like, I stand up and do fucking demonstrations of like exercises and shit, like, you know, and yeah, again, that to me says everything I need to know about, again, someone's check-in process when they're like, oh, I love traveling the world, I can do my check-ins anywhere. I'm like, nah, yeah, I could as well if I did them shitly. As bad as you do them. But and that's the thing I find really hard, is like I would have to hire out, like I said, a private office for a few days. It's the only way I could do it. Me and Mike actually looked at getting an office the other day. We were thinking about doing it over here. Not for check-in days, but for all the other shit we have to do. But yeah, it's again, even check-in days, we couldn't sit there together doing it. Like you just couldn't do it. It's not possible. But yeah, you know, it's such is life, such as you know, being an online coach. How unique our job is, I suppose.
It is always funny though. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you can just go in a coffee shop, do work. I was like, I can do admin in the coffee shop.
Yeah,
absolutely no problem with that. I was like, I can set up lead pages, funnels, and do programming. That's fine. But as soon as I have to have any kind of interaction, I tried
That's
it.
just not a
and
huge part of like our
just-
days either, though.
I
Check-ins
was
are the
just
biggest
like,
part.
I was just like, I feel like I was like whispering and stuff like that. I was like,
Mm.
I don't no problem doing like voice notes, but I don't count a voice note as a check-in. The only time, well, the times that people get a voice note check-in from me is because they haven't checked in with me, and then I just go, well, I'm gonna one up you because you haven't sent me a video. I'll send you just a voice note because I don't know how you've been this week. Shock. If they get if they send a video to me, they get a fucking video back. It's fine.
Yeah.
Tit for tat, innit? I just
Tit
have to do
for
1 minute,
tat.
1 minute longer than they take as well. I don't do that. That's not true because
No,
some
I
of you
don't do that
people
either.
just take for fucking forever. When all right, I realize there's an obviously clients go through this, but I love you all to pieces. But what I want on WhatsApp is obviously the same that happens on QuickTime or whatever, and that you can speed up the video because I can still comprehend what people are saying. And like on podcasts, you might listen to 1.5x speed, right? Why hasn't that happened on WhatsApp videos? Why can't you do that? You can do it on voice notes, but you can't do it on videos.
Don't know why.
Would make my day possibly 0.5 minutes
Yeah,
per whatever a little bit better. So yeah.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, if you're listening, sort yourself out.
Yeah. I think they must be listening.
Stop removing apparently people's Instagrams and doing that. Did you feel that, Dan? Did your followers drop? Mine dropped by 10, and then it went back, and then it went back up again.
Oh my gosh, you must have
I
been
know.
fearful for a while there, mate.
I thought I was going to lose everything. Yeah. So, but it was okay.
Gutting.
We're all good. We're still here. What has been going off? I had a birthday. You saw?
You did have a birthday, didn't you? Yeah.
I had a birthday. It was on the
You're
weekend.
old now, mate.
No. I do feel old now. No. If anybody wants to know kind of how old I am, I probably look this age, I think now. So give or take. I've always looked older, but now I feel like I am as old as I look ish. But then somebody said that I actually looked more like 27 the other day, and I was like, thank you very much.
27.
27.
Old 27.
Thanks, mate. Wisdomous. That's the one.
If you
There's so much wisdom in my eyes. That's what gives it away so much. I'm 32.
Much pain.
I'm 32. Not as old as Dan. Anyway.
You're not.
Right. What we also had Halloween. Did you go trick or treating?
I did not go trick or treating, obviously.
Did Isabel go trick or treating? Should she go?
She did not. She went to a Halloween party though. So
that's good.
She would have had fun there. She dressed up as a what was she, a zombie prom queen or something like that, I think it was.
Oh wow. Classic.
Like that, yeah.
One of the classics, that one.
Yeah, one of the classics. Yeah. Yeah, but I saw some crazy dress ups in Dubai. Some people go fucking mad for it over here.
It's gotten way bigger over here.
I just don't never will get it as a concept for I just don't get it. Like
I've dressed
it's
up.
more the trick or treating that I don't get.
Yeah,
I just don't get it. I don't understand the concept of just going around asking people for.
I hate the term. I was this today years old or whatever, but I was. Yeah, my sister told me that, and you can come at me, DM me, whatever, if this isn't true. That apparently it's an unwritten rule that if you put a pumpkin, like a whatever pumpkin, outside your house, that means you are open for trick or treaters.
Yeah.
I didn't know that whatsoever.
I've heard that it's to do with, again, like if you, but and even beyond that, if you basically like dress up your house, like it's kind of like a sign. Like if you go to a house that's not got anything Halloween on it, you don't knock on that door because they're not bothered. That's what our house had. Don't you worry about that. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be like, yeah, the universal sign that it's like, okay, cool, we're partaking in the tradition or whatever. But I just don't understand. Like, so for me, right, trick or treating it's effectively going around someone's house and asking for sweets. But I am 100% sure that's not how it originated, because the trick or treat is kind of like, okay, you give us a treat, otherwise we do a trick. That was the original thing of it, right? Is that, you know, people gave the sweets because they didn't want to see them do a trick on them, like because they would obviously like egg their house or something like that. That's what I thought it was, right? So. But there's just this unwritten rule now that you just get given the sweets. Because, yeah, what is the real meaning of trick and treat? Halloween practice in which children wearing costumes go from door to door in neighborhoods saying trick or treat when a door is open to ask for treats with the implied threat of playing tricks on those who refuse. But None of them have got any tricks to play. So I just go, well, no. And see what happens. Well, nothing happens. Because the whole point of it is that there's a trick involved, but there's no effort going into the trick side of things here. And it annoys me. There's no effort going into it. So that's what I mean is it's you say trick or treat, but it's not, is it? It's just gimme sweets. That's what annoys me about it. So yeah, there you go. That's what annoys me about Halloween is that I don't mind the dress up parties and stuff. I think they're quite good because I understand the dressing up. It's the trick or treating part that I get a bit annoyed about. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. Yeah, there you go.
Is it nothing to do with I'm gonna butcher this, and Chloe told me how to pronounce it the other day, was Dia de los Muertos?
Don't know
the Day of the Dead, or All Souls Day, obviously, that they celebrate in Mexico. Is there nothing to do with that in terms of how it's been probably bastardized by the Americans, and that's what they do now?
I mean, potentially.
Because obviously that's like they commemorate the dead, right? So the lost and whatever, blah 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 blah, and then it just turns into spooky, which is crazy. Yeah, I think I'm awful with the pronunciation, and I literally got told it about 2 days ago. So Dia de los Muertos. I can't roll my R's. So can you roll your R's?
No.
Can you not try?
Roll. No, I can't.
Yeah, it's meant to be like Danny Rojas. Yeah, I can't do that.
Danny Rojas. Yeah.
But it's Danny Rojas. I've been watching Ted Lasso. Is Danny Rojas from? Yeah, I'm well in. I'm in season 2, like episode 3 or 4 now.
Oh, mate, it's so good. You're so far behind.
And
I can't wait for season 3.
I can't stop. Like, I'm just like Jamie Tot Jamie. It's so funny. It's so good. So I just watched the last. People who haven't watched it, then it is good to go watch it.
Yeah, even Laura likes it. Like, so you don't have to like football to like it.
Mate, I think in spite of liking football, like the football's possibly the worst bit of it. If we're really honest,
it is the worst.
Especially because I've been watching it with Nathan, and we know the inner workings of a football club, and it's just like this is a Premier League club that has got
the kit
coaches,
man, the kit man that goes to
the kit man. Yeah, the kit man goes from kit man to coach, and we're like, what? Then we're obviously like looking. Roy Kent is like doesn't go to be a coach. He goes coach of an under-9 girls team, but the kit man gets to be the next coach for the Premier League first team. So funny, and we're like, I think there's a few more people involved than 3 coaches, and an football ops director and the owner, and that's it. And then the random woman that kind of is around for most of the time, the key league woman.
Yeah,
didn't really understand what she was doing much. PR now, obviously, but yeah, it's the football is embarrassing, I'd say. But the rest of it is very funny.
I've started watching, for anyone who likes basketball as well, on Apple TV, Swagger. I've started watching
Swagger.
Yeah, it follows the story of a 14-year-old. They 8th graders, 9th graders. Obviously wants to make it in the NBA, and how obviously like in the NBA, people now, scouts and shit now are starting to watch like 14-year-old kids rather than high schoolers and college kids, and like how it all works. So he wants to become an NBA player, and it's quite good. So yeah, I've got into that at the moment. But not very many good series out at the moment to watch, which is really frustrating. Once you've watched all the good ones, I'm not into the Lord of the Rings shit, so don't even bring that up.
Already watched it. And if anybody likes Star Wars, obviously the animated Tales of the Jedi has just come out. So that is a standalone for each Jedi. So there's a Yoda one, a Count Dooku one, a Qui-Gon Jinn one, a Ahsoka Tano one. That they're all about those. Apparently, like the Star Wars universe is going mad for it. So I need to watch them. I might download them and watch them on the way to Dubai on Saturday, I think. So
yeah, Tom flies out to Dubai this weekend.
I do, yeah.
For the next golf tournament with me.
And Suk.
And Suk, yeah. Suk's coming for 2 of them. 2 of the rounds, he'll be there.
Yeah. What we'll have to do is we'll have a think, and we'll assign a different, like what Good have done for the Good Cup, instead of just playing fucking bullshit. What did we play last time?
when I won.
We just played we just played match play every single time. So
I
we'll
just beat you.
do
Yeah. And
we'll
I beat
do
you. Yeah.
correct. Yeah. If we looked at strokes played, it's fine. We'll do a different point scoring system for each one, I think.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I think we'll do.
That's
Well,
what
we'll
you wanna
obviously
do.
we'll play match play, but we're gonna have to so probably match play for me is gonna be good round the By Hills because that's Dan's home course, so that might even the playing. So I can have a blow up hole and it won't be too bad. Or maybe we actually just play Stanford points there, so I can have a blow up hole and it won't really matter. And then we'll have points, and then we can do something else. Then we can do actual strokes. That'd be funny.
Hey, I'm all for it, mate. I need a challenge, so I'll do whatever you want. It's fine.
We just got to probably when we play Sook, we've probably got to play points. I'm assuming, or points match. So
yeah,
but
you're the only one who knows how to play points. So you're gonna have to do all the adding up because we don't have
to. And then I can't imagine we're gonna play standard scratch strokes play with Sook.
No,
that's right.
We won't be.
Bit unfair, but we're all good. That'd be fun. Lovely. Right, shall we actually get into vague topics? Because I did literally write Ted Lasso as a topic because that was quite fun. It's been a good watch. And it's
Who's your favorite character in it?
Ooh, I don't know actually. Well, obviously Ted, but the Kit Man is fucking hilarious. So
yeah,
but he's just I quite like him in other stuff he does as well. When he plays he has a character where he's a teacher, and on one of the 8 out of 10 Cats things, he sings the Lord of the Rings theme tune. It's fucking hilarious. He has his own. He does his own comedy. He's a comedian, by trade. Yeah, and he's so funny. He's fucking hilarious, I think. He's so weird as well, but probably the Kit Man. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but out of the
Nate.
Players, I don't know.
Nate,
is it Nate?
Kitman.
Yeah, Nate. Yeah, Kitman. So apart from that, because all the footballers Roy Kent's though. I'm assuming that's meant to be Roy Keane.
Yeah,
really. Yeah,
I assume that's the role he's trying to play.
Especially as the pundit when he starts being a pundit. So
yeah,
it's they're shit. You're a shit manager. Great. Okay, cool. And Ted Lasso's hilarious. He's so that is literally how some Americans are though, in terms of so positive. It's just God,
I just imagine that's how the Leeds manager is. Just imagine.
Yeah, that's why.
He must get called Ted Lasso, surely.
Yeah, surely. And he's for fuck's sake. Oh, it's so funny. But Jamie Tartt's slightly annoying, but he's meant to be an annoying character, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then the self-righteous fucking Nigerian guy. Obviously, I just watched the episode where he covers up his sponsor. Dubai Air.
Dubai Air, yeah, not even real. But I'm surprised they managed to get away with that.
Same.
Dubai. I was a bit I'm careful. Well. Careful. I suppose it's not real people, is it? Yeah.
Anyway,
my favorite is probably I quite like the operations guy. What's his name?
Oh, the operations. Yeah.
Those some good one-liners. Yeah. Higgins.
That's his name. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Higgins. There you go.
Yeah. The assistant manager is a little bit there.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah,
I just don't. Does he?
No.
Doesn't do much.
He has a whole. I think you haven't watched it yet, but he's got a whole episode dedicated to him. It's coming up soon for you. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I'm like, a bit strange.
That's strange. How strange. Anyway, all right, moving on. Stuff that this is basically a list of 3 things that we've seen in real life. I'm assuming that has annoyed us to do with training episode. Shock horror. That Dan's gone in on forward lunges. Daniel.
Yeah, I just saw them being done badly, obviously. But not only just as an exercise standalone, I think they're one of the worst choices of exercise you can do for most people. But done in a HIIT class under fatigue is possibly the worst place in the world you could ever do them. And I had a few people message me and go, well, why? Why are they such a bad movement? Why they see a lot of people doing them and all this sort of stuff. So I think it's important to elaborate. Obviously, a lot of PTs listen, so maybe they do them, maybe they, whatever. But just as a movement, they just put so much force and pressure on your knee. and force it into a position where it's more likely to be compromised in terms of like, you know, knee valgus and stuff like that, and all this sort of shit, right? And it's just not ever a position that most people find themselves in, where they need to be able to hold that position and kind of be like, control the weight and then bounce off really quickly. And there's just so many better exercises for that movement of knee flexion, basically. Like just do a reverse lunge. Like it's easier to do, number one, requires less coordination, can actually go a little bit heavier and doesn't cause any pain on the knee. And it just baffles me that I still see it done as an exercise for like muscle building. Like I still see it in bodybuilding programs. I'm like, what are you doing? Like 20 reps after doing 20 reps of back squats, 20 reps of RDLs, 20 reps on leg press, 20 reps forward lunge. No, just no, like no, ever, no. Yeah, I just don't like it as a movement. I really detest it. And I just think no one needs to do it. And I put 99.9% because there's always an argument for fucking one person to do it. But the majority, like I said, most people who go to a gym just don't need to do it. And I saw about 3 people doing it. One with the barbell, and then 2 were in the class doing it. Yeah, I know, Tom. It's just like
it's
painful to watch.
So to be the devil's advocate, I can think of the 0.11111 whatever 0.0001% of people that it would apply to, because even though I can use it as an exercise or whatever and put it in the right circumstance, it's one of the things I'm looking at my list of clients on my board in front of me. Not one of them has it. And there's one lad who's coming back with knee rehab that we're just getting him back up to playing and stuff. I don't think he has like crossover drills and stuff like this, and maybe he might have it in. I'm trying to think of his movement prep stuff, but
I would imagine as well with him though, it would be body weight. No.
Oh, 1,000%. He's not.
Yeah. So body weight, I can understand. Again, if you're a sports person and you do a movement forward, or you need to catch yourself that way, I'm okay with it as a unweighted movement. If you're trying to practice that movement and absorbing force, because I knew part of me when I was looking at it and made the comment on Instagram, part of me was like, would Tom use this for stuff? And I was like, yes, because like there is an element to it where like absorbing force and then springy and all this sort of stuff. And also walking lunges are fine. Like I haven't got a problem with the forward motion of the lunge. Yeah. Like it's more the pushing off and where the weight is on you holding on your back and where the weight is positioned and then pushing backwards.
Mate, like, and if you were to load them as far and as close to the knee as you can. Fucking madness. If you think that's your fulcrum and your effort of there, like load it right next to it. Suitcase loads, and almost like when you're dropping in, the suitcase load is going to be next to your knee for when you come out. Don't load it as far away as possible, which is going to increase shearing force. So it's just like, all right, if I were to load them with like 2 kilo weights, like I load some like pistol squats or some stuff like some of my guys have. Well, the other one, skater squats. It's helping a little bit. That's the only thing I'd load it with. Definitely, it's like a 2 dumbbell job. That's it. Nothing else. Definitely not fucking this kind of mass extension thing. Because the issue is it goes straight into the most furthest point forwards of that movement is where the energy dissipates, which is unfortunately your patellar tendon, which connects vaguely near your like tibial tuberosity and controls of what your patella and your like femur's doing. And then as soon as your foot leaves the ground, energy only really goes there and then nowhere else. So you're damn right in terms of it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get tendon thickness possibly if you can handle the load that you're putting through it, and the ability to like fall and catch yourself before you like fall on the floor, which is cool. But then again, like I think that's the good bit. Mm-hmm. That's it. The fall and catch. That's the bit I want to be able to absorb the force. It's not the acceleration effect of trying to jolt back. That's the thing as well, because nobody actually in sport really does that, because you'll tend to turn when you're there as well. You'll turn and you'll gather.
There's probably even merit in holding 2 dumbbells, absorbing that force, dropping the dumbbells, and then jumping in a different direction. That's probably more likely what you would or what you would need to practice for a sport.
if I were, yeah, they would do fall and catch, and then I've got stuff like where they go. I think that's what I'm trying to think. It's like Jack has fall to catch and a forward lunge, but then he'll have a crossover step or lateral step to like stick or something like that. That's what he never comes back. He never drives himself backwards from that, because it's a change of direction, sure, but the change of direction tends to be you change your whole body direction, not I just reverse back and go backwards. That doesn't particularly happen. So yeah, I'd encourage somebody to, if they're thinking about it, absorbing and stuff like that, even from that mechanic, I would look at crossover steps and crossover change direction stuff like that. Yeah, very strange. I wouldn't particularly use them, and yeah, not loaded. Yeah, because like the forward lunge, like the walking lunge, is the best bit of the forward lunge, the fall and catch, and then the good bit of the reverse lunge, which is the step up.
Correct.
So which looks all lovely, because as soon, just to put it in a perspective for hypertrophy, you don't have any tension. As soon as your foot leaves the floor, there's no tension left because you're not pushing against anything. So you cannot create tension against nothing. So equal and opposite reaction. If there's nothing to push against to create a reaction, therefore there's nothing to do. In physics, if you try and push the air away, you win. Trust me. That's the so as soon as you leave the floor, is silly, and the people are like, what? I taught this to the new PTs for PTC the other week, and they're like, what? I always go around the room. I was like, what would you start with, forwards or backward lunges? What do you go, forwards, and I'm like, you're all idiots. No, I'm joking. I just go, yeah, it's probably backwards. It's reverses. Why do we use reverse lunges instead? Cool. We're gonna do a walking lunge. Cool. Yeah. Then we just talk about that. But yeah, the forward lunge is fun. Because yeah, Dan, you made the comment you were like, maybe how I was doing them this week that I posted, and I was like, what did I do? So I was doing a drop to catch, like split squat. I guess people would like, may argue that it looks very similar, right? But again, I'm not pushing. I'm using it as a split squat. I've had no problem somebody going a fall and catch and then split squatting up, fall and catch, split squatting up. That's absolutely fine. So you do that first movement of a forward lunge, but then you just split squat yourself up and then maybe step backwards. Yeah, I wouldn't that, because that's the good part of the fall. That's the force absorption bit without the weird shit afterwards. There's no reason why you can't do it, but yeah, I was doing those drop to catch just to absorb force, and I've got a bit of bum doms today from that. I had 70 kilos on the barbell. Yeah, well, the barbell's 30, just in case people go, oh, you only had blue 20s. Barbell's 30 kilos. It's a heavy barbell. But yeah, and I was only doing threes. Don't need to do a lot of force absorption, because yeah, otherwise I just end up falling through the fucking wood and hurting my knee. Tell me what happened. But I'm stamping. If anybody wants to do that, it's like I'm in a split squat position. I'm doing quick hip flexion and then stamping down as if you're going to do. It'd be good for people to learn if they want to do like Olympic lifting. But I use it with my footballers, so because I want them to be able to drop down into like a athletic-based position quickly. And you probably then do that even quicker if you've got 70 kilos on your back, and you're able to absorb it and decelerate really quickly. Okay. It's lovely. All right. I've got two others. This is more equipment based, Dan, that I've seen this week in my gym.
Okay. Belts on for bicep curls.
How did you know it was unnecessary weight belts? That's number 2.
That's what happens in every gym across the country.
No, but not so much. It wasn't for like bicep curls and stuff like that. But this was just for like just lifting. And it's just, I think it's probably, it irked me even more because I just wrote a piece for my protein. I think their next, whatever, their magazine, if you buy a thing from my protein, their next magazine, I normally has a piece in there from me, but I wrote one on breathing. And obviously I talked about the Valsalva maneuver slightly. And obviously that's trying to create 360 kind of capacity air pressure. Kind of what a belt should, in theory, give you feedback for, not do for you. So number one, I'm assuming it's a case of not a lot of people know how to use them properly, because fuck me if they did. We've obviously used them when we've ollie lift or power lifted and stuff like that. And I feel like I'm going to be turned into fucking two sausages when it's like on, right? because that's the point. It's meant to be super fucking compressing. So I can do 360 expansion of my breath against it. Again, I'm trying to push against a wall. Not, oh, it's helping my back, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
keep everything tied in.
it's not just so like a big plaster like to help you be straighter when you do it. It's just like, no, you're meant to push against it. It's fucking hard. It's an external feedback tool. That's all it is. It'd be like putting my hand out so Dan knows where to punch. That's all it is. Otherwise, you just punch in the air. No. Yeah, so that was annoying. And I feel like people jump to it too quickly as well to be a training aid. Without...
so I've got one of my clients who we use it for certain bits, and he only uses it for his top sets. So he literally uses it for those ones that he really wants to go for and push a little bit. Because again, like you can over rely on it a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
With that, and again, you feel safe, and then what you do is because you feel safe because you got it on, you don't think as much about what you should be doing and about your positioning. So yeah, it's a bit of a dodge. And by the way, can we just say for the record, if you have a weight belt that is Velcro, it is completely fucking pointless. There's that, because it's always those people in it. You know, the ones that you see putting on the Velcro belt as if they're going to bicycles. I'm like, oh, you fucking...
like, what's that for?
What are you doing? No, it's not going to work. Because the second you apply any sort of pressure on that, it's going to pop open. And if you're not popping open out of it, you're not applying enough pressure, and you don't know how to use it properly.
You don't need it.
Basically. So
yeah, you need like spend some money on just like a 2-pin. Or if you really want a nice one, there's the latch ones. So I've got both, but I tend to only use the 2-pin one because I can't be bothered with the latch. Because I'm also fatter than when I was competing. So I have to get my screwdriver out and relatch it. So
too much like I work that, mate.
I was like, can I really be bothered? No, I cannot be bothered. I don't need it that much. It's fine. I can pull enough weight without needing it. So. Because I know how to valve maneuver, so I'm all right. So, but yeah, if I wanted to pull a heavier weight, definitely it will aid me. It 100% will. But it's just a case of like CBA and learn how to use it properly. But yeah, so weight belts when they're not needed. And the second one is equipment-based thing as well. Can you guess this one?
No.
This was shoes. And this was because this particular person was going for a PR set, so an AMRAP set of a heavy load. Say, I think they were like, I think I should be able to do 3 or 4. And I was like, cool. And then I realized when I was spotting this human that I looked down, just a pair of like Nike, just normal running shoes on, like big sponges, whatever. And like she had a weight belt on. This is a heavy lift, like going for a PR, Nike weight shoes, running shoes. I see a lot of people might not think there's not much wrong with that, but what are running shoes designed for? Running?
What are max powerlifting?
What are they not designed for? Yeah, fucking like, as soon as you put force through them, they're built to absorb and take the force and not give it back to you. They want it. It's like a big cloud. I'm guessing when Dan jumps on his bed with all his pillows, it absorbs him. Not when he goes. What he really like is his actual bed, where he leaves Laura there, and then he goes sleeps on just a hard mattress on the floor. And yeah, that one's gonna be like bouncy. So that's the one you want to push hard into, because it's probably going to give back as much as you put in. So unfortunately, the other ones, I was just like, am I going crazy? Obviously, I gave her I was like, have a think about your shoes, maybe. If you're going for a PR, then that could be a good thing to do. Which is obviously why like Metcons and stuff became big. And then, but they obviously what we were talking about the other week was High Rocks. It's like, all right, cool. But then those things don't work for running. Counterintuitive, yeah. I'm not going to wear my football boots when I play golf. Probably won't be allowed on the greens.
No, you wouldn't, mate. You'd ruin them, wouldn't you? Hey?
Exactly. So just think, this is more of like a performance thing. And I was like, mate, you can lift more. You're losing a couple of kilos there, like just for instability things and just wobbling around and not being able to apply as much pressure. So that was so all I wrote is big sponges, FML.
Big sponges.
So yeah, slightly annoying.
Yeah.
Slightly annoying, mate. But yeah, so obviously my pet peeve was those two things, and it's probably the content I've been putting out this week. Well, will be as of. It'd be interesting because obviously you deal in the more of the general weight loss and kind of being healthier kind of spectrum. Would you? Because obviously I'm just posting about maybe we start looking at differently how we train in terms of days and splits and stuff like that. And obviously this whole podcast is fucking named after a split of type of training, right? Push pull legs, pretty fucking common. And then there's the argument of like, what's the best split? Oh, is it push pull legs? Is it upper lower? Is it all this kind of, which are fine, right? And it's good that you've gone into that all. Is it like chest? What's the traditional one for body part? It'd be chest and tries, back and by. Well, what like day of the week would it be? Chest and tries. Monday's bench day, right? Has to be.
Yeah, chest
and
chest on Monday, back on Tuesday,
back and buys on Tuesday,
shoulders Wednesday,
shoulders
legs
and abs?
Thursday.
Is it shoulders and abs usually?
Sometimes can be, yeah.
Legs on
its own, mate, because that's hard. That's too hard.
Yeah,
and then arms and calves, isn't it? Arms and calves.
Arms and calves on Friday. What do you do on the weekend?
No Tiban. You don't do any Tiban, just calves. No Tiban at all.
I wonder how people are training their soleus and their gastroc differently.
Yeah. Madness, isn't it? Yeah, that's it, mate. That's how people train these days. So yeah.
Is that still? Would you still say that's the most like in terms of body part split and maybe push pull legs and upper lower? Those are still the most prevalent ways of training. Personal training.
Yeah, I think so. I've got a couple of PTs that actually wrote 4 full body days this week. I was just like, you're a PT, you need to just train. Like, forget about what you think, just train your whole body as these movements over 4 days. You'll be fine. And of course, the first 2 weeks always hard. You will recover. Don't worry. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I'm just trying to fight against it a little bit more now. But yeah, I think it's still the most common is still chest, back, shoulders, legs, arms. Still,
I found that baffling because obviously I live in my slightly different echo chamber of being like, no, let's push that. And every now and again, people will be like, oh yeah, you're really like going against the grain, Tom. It's nice to see all this kind of stuff. I'm like, thanks, but I feel like I'm doing the fucking same thing as everyone else. But obviously, my little thing of who I take ideas from is obviously a lot smaller. Yeah, interesting. Because obviously there's the next progression, I guess, is where I was for quite a while in terms of, and then obviously me and you have a very similar opinion in terms of like full body training, 100%. But then again, full body training is still split into, say, upper pulls into lower pushes, that kind of thing. And we combine that. You're like, no, you don't train your legs every day, but we're going to focus on like more squat based movements. Or so you have like one bilateral squat and then one like split stance squat. Cool. And then so that's 2 squats that day and maybe one more, and then we'll do like 3 pushes, for example, just up a spectrum of where it goes from horizontal to vertical, depending on what we're trying to achieve. And then you flip it over, you go more like lower pull, hinges, blah blah blah, and then like do all that kind of shit. So that's how you can do it. And then I'm like just going for it a little bit further, trying to push the needle, which is obviously like, it's like try to stand out from the crowd, but do something different. Essentially go against the grain and just be known for something. It's just like, maybe we start looking more, and it's something that we already do. And I know a couple of the boys who I train are doing this. And actually the first phase of one of the combines is this as well. And you look at those are usually 4 days worth of training. And you look at like for example, like a moderate day, a heavy day, and a light day, and then an ESD day. Or you look at power day, strength day, volume day, maybe movement efficiency and acceleration, or top speed, or change of direction day, and then aerobic capacity day. It's just possibly a different way of looking at things. And it kind of like, it resonated with me because on that fucking not gonna lie thing, which is quite fun, isn't it? It's kind of fun, but then I really want to know who wrote it. Don't you feel that?
Yeah. Well, I've noticed that some of them, they're bots that fill out the questions.
Are they?
Yeah, because they're asking questions that are just like, I put a thing up, obviously, it was like, what's your biggest fear when it comes to creating content? And like, who are you talking to right now? I was like, no one. What is your orientation? You know, you're like, what the fuck? Like, who's asking you that? Like,
I had one where it was like, what is your favorite? What is your dream house? And I was like, that
ridiculous.
came up within a second of me putting it up as well. And I was like,
yeah, I just find it weird that bots are involved in that. I'm like, it doesn't even make any
Yeah.
sense. But
I guess it's because it's the needy people will be like, oh, somebody's engaged with it, therefore I'm going to use it again. So, and then they're gonna do the upsell of like, oh look, there's a little thing at the bottom that says purchase a weekly subscription of $6.99 to find out, not even find out exactly who wrote into the thing, but find out. I was like, clicked on it. I was like, find out where they possibly posted and what device they were using or whatever. You're like,
oh, brilliant.
Fuck me, I'm not
giving us
paying
loads of information. Cheers.
£7 to to possibly find out who wrote it. Which you probably know anyway. So yeah, anyway, I was pushing the spectrum for that because there was one lad who was like, oh yeah, I've been playing sports for the last couple of years instead of like, and trying to get away from bodybuilding, or have been bodybuilding for a long time. What should I kind of do? And I was like, yeah, I would start splitting your training into that, and thinking about what kind of performance your body should do per session more than anything else. It doesn't have to be the whole session. Let's just put that like straight there. On a strength day, you're not training fucking 5 sets of 5 for each fucking exercise. That you're probably doing 2 exercises that are going to be like strength orientated, and the rest are supplementary. That's fine, but they're going to be low range, like 6 reps. That's about it. And then maybe on the volume day, everything's between 8s and 12s. So that's fine. And then on the speed day, everything's like down at 4s and like 5s, and that's it. And you just move weights quickly and power, or you use. And I definitely have a few that literally only have to do body weight stuff because they're just doing movements. They only take about 40-45 minutes, but they're doing like tempo work or all that kind of fun stuff. So I think those people will make better movers, and they will make better athletes, and probably understand their body a little bit more as well, and will definitely apply themselves to more sports. 1000%.
For sure. That's the key thing, isn't it? I think it's one of those where we've talked about this before, in that some movements, it's just like people assume that you should be able to just do them all the time. And like a lot of the time with bodybuilding stuff is people just get so wrapped up in the same movements over and over again that then when you ask them to do these more sporty movements, they can't do them. They can't move properly. And they're like, oh, that's weird. I go to the gym, I train. I'm like, nah, you don't. Like, and people forget that with range of motion, they are so busy focusing on range of motion in their RDLs, their back squat and all this sort of stuff. And kind of like shooting for the bare minimum, what's acceptable. They forget that when they get out into the real world and they actually need to use full range of motion for athletic movements, they just can't move. Their bodies are not designed to move properly. And I think one of the biggest things for me in terms of that people can work on, and you've talked about this a lot, and Ben Bruno posted about it recently, is just moving in a different plane other than the sagittal plane all the time. And I think that's such an important thing is just moving outside the box and doing lateral movements. When you look at most sports, they are more lateral than they are forward and back in terms of like the predominant movements. And again, when you look at a lot of more purposeful movements in sports, the ones that actually define games, they are often lateral movements or quick forward movements rather than standing still and having to do something with 2 feet planted on the floor.
Oh yeah.
And like I say, a lot of us now are looking at moving into other things, other sports, other areas, and want to be a bit more athletic. But I even argue that living your life and being quote unquote functional is just low level sport. It's low level, like being able to do those movements in those ranges of motion. And like, that's why we should train that way rather than bodybuilding, like rather than doing all that sort of stuff. Yes, we can take the principles of it and increase muscle size, but
don't get me wrong, like people are still
more athletic.
With the frequency muscles are being trained and at the intensity they're still going to get bigger. They just have to. That's still going to be a side effect. Like, you can't say to me that, like, all right, some of the lads like doing the NFL and cutting, all that kind of stuff. It's like they still have that side effect of being jacked, but they just are able to adapt to certain kind of skills and kind of different like sets a lot quicker than, let's say, if we put a bodybuilder up against a linebacker. I'm assuming they're going to probably, in terms of lifting, be very similar, but in terms of moving, it's going to be fucking madness. So it's I'm going to keep beating my drum, so it'll be all right. Yeah, mate. Yeah. All right. Any other business, Dan? Because we're pushing 3/4 of an hour.
No, are we? No, not for me. Just there'll be no podcast next week because me and Tom will be playing golf. So deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah, nothing from me. All good. Don't think there's nothing. Go sub on my YouTube.
If anyone's, that's what I was going to say. If anyone's got any presents to send me, send them to Tom. He'll bring them over. That's all good. So just anyone,
get
just
my
throw it out
address.
there. Yeah.
I feel like Dan will just.
I feel like there's loads of them coming. I feel like there's going to be loads of people saying that they want to send me something. They just haven't been able to at the moment. So I just thought I'd give you the opportunity.
Yeah, send it to number 1 Maidavale, London. That's as much of an address I'll give away.
Just Tom Hall, third space, Marylebone. You'll find it. It'll turn up. It's all good. We're fine.
Go there. Yeah, have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it won't go there. That won't happen. So, I mean, last time I had to act as a club mule, so I took one. I haven't gotten. No, last time when I went to Dubai, I had to bring Dan's clothes over, and then when it came to Italy, I had to bring one of his golf clubs over. I've not actually got anything of his at the moment, so.
No, you didn't bring anything today because I'm flying back for the shoot at the end of November, so I'm home. So if I need anything, I'll order it then. So it's fine.
Sure.
I think you'll do some mule today.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and we won't catch you next week. See you in a fortnight.